Our honorable guests have arrived. May I request everyone to please rise. Honorable Union Minister of Finance and Corporate Affairs, Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman ma'am, Revenue Secretary Shri Arvind Srivatsav sir, Chairman CBDT Shri Ravi Agarwal sir, esteemed members of the Central Board of Direct Taxes, distinguished guests, dignitaries on and off the dais, members of the Aikar Parivar, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. A warm welcome to everyone present as we gather here to celebrate the 167th Income Tax Day. Today, we gather here not merely to commemorate the introduction of income tax in India, but also to honor the collective contribution of every taxpayer. From ancient wisdom to the modern taxpayer-centric governance, India is now marching forward to fulfill the vision of Viksit Bharat 2047. On this momentous occasion, we wish you all a happy Income Tax Day.
दीप हमारी सभ्यता में सकारात्मकता एवं ज्ञान रूपी प्रकाश का प्रतीक है। मैं हमारी माननीय वित्त मंत्री एवं मंच पर उपस्थित सभी गणमान्य अतिथियों से सादर अनुरोध करती हूं कि कृपया दीप प्रज्वलित कर आज के इस कार्यक्रम का विधिवत शुभारंभ करें। दीप प्रज्वलन एवं सरस्वती वंदना के साथ हम कामना करते हैं ईश्वर हमारे मन को ज्ञान एवं प्रकाश की ओर ले जाएं।
शारदा विद्याधनी शारदा विद्याधनी सरस्वती वाग्वाणी जग जानी मानी ध्यान भवानी दयानी कल्याण शारदा विद्याधनी शारदा विद्याधनी सोहत कमलासनी सोहत कमलासनी बाजत वीणा ध्वनि बाजत वीणा ध्वनि हंस वाहिनी सुहानी सुमानी सुज्ञान शारदा विद्याधनी शारदा विद्याधनी माँ शारदा विद्याधनी शारदा 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 विद्याधनी विद्याधनी विद्याधनी
श्री आयुष के निर्देशन में संस्कृति मंत्रालय द्वारा एक अनूठी प्रस्तुति हमने देखी। इस कार्यक्रम को औपचारिक रूप से आगे बढ़ाते हुए मैं केंद्रीय प्रत्यक्ष कर बोर्ड अध्यक्ष आदरणीय श्री रवि अग्रवाल जी से एवं मंच पर उपस्थित सभी गणमान्य अतिथियों से अनुरोध करती हूं कि वे माननीय केंद्रीय वित्त मंत्री श्रीमती निर्मला सीतारमण जी का पौधा, शॉल एवं स्मृति चिन्ह भेंट कर स्वागत करें। भेंट किया गया यह चित्र राजस्थान की पिछवाई शैली में तैयार किया गया है।
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Now we would like to request Member Taxpayer Services and Revenue, Srimati G. Aparna Rao, ma'am, to please welcome respected Revenue Secretary, Shri Arvind Srivatsav, sir, with a sapling, shawl, and a memento. The memento that is being presented is a Madhubani painting, which is a traditional folk painting from Bihar.
धन्यवाद सर, धन्यवाद मैम। कार्यक्रम को आगे बढ़ाते हुए मैं केंद्रीय प्रत्यक्ष कर बोर्ड अध्यक्ष आदरणीय श्री रवि अग्रवाल जी को इस गरिमामयी सभा को संबोधित करने के लिए आमंत्रित करती हूं।
Honorable Finance Minister, Secretary Revenue, distinguished guests, members of the tax fraternity, members from the media, and my dear colleagues. On behalf of the Central Board of Direct Taxes, it is my honor and privilege to welcome you all to the 167th Income Tax Day celebrations. Income Tax Day is much more than an annual celebration. It is an opportunity for us to reflect on how we have discharged our responsibilities entrusted to us and face the challenges that came our way. It also gives us an occasion to demonstrate that we are capable of meeting them. Madam, on this very occasion last year, you had outlined 5 priorities for the department. A few months later, at the Prarambh program in this March, you had further articulated 6 expectations from the department. These priorities and expectations broadly focus on key areas such as reducing litigation by faster disposal of appeals, expeditious passing of appeal effect orders, and quick issuance of refunds, better taxpayer services, and grievance redressal. Along with greater use of technology, wider taxpayer outreach, and ensuring that the new Income Tax Act 2025 remains simple, clear, and easy to comply with. Those priorities have served as a constant guide to us over the past year. One of your foremost priorities was reducing litigation. Ma'am, we have focused not merely on disposal of appeals, but on reducing pendency and avoiding unnecessary litigation. During financial year 2025-26, the department disposed of over 2.24 lakh appeals, which far exceeds the 1.7 lakh new appeals that were filed during the year. As a result, we have achieved substantial reduction in pending appeals by the end of the year. Nearly 6,000 departmental appeals have also been withdrawn in accordance with the revised monetary limits. You had emphasized on timely service delivery and respect for taxpayers' time. In this context, today, almost all verified returns for assessment year 25-26 have been processed. Out of nearly 8.6 crore verified returns, only about 1.5 lakh returns are pending. And out of these 3.82 crore verified refund returns, only 1.47 lakh refund returns are pending, and that is also due to the ongoing risk assessment. In the area of appeal effect orders, focused monitoring has resulted in the disposal of over 5.68 lakh appeal effect orders out of 6.29 lakh, representing 90.3 disposal rate during FY 25-26. Good progress has continued during the current financial year as well. The grievance disposal has improved significantly, and the time taken for resolving taxpayer grievances has also reduced substantially. During FY 25-26, the department handled over 77,500 CP gram grievances and disposed of about 73,000 grievances out of them, achieving 94% disposal rate. In addition, a total of over 3.4 lakh e-Nivaran grievances were handled, out of which 3.26 lakh grievances have been resolved, resulting in a disposal rate of 95%. At the same time, we have begun addressing the root causes of recurring grievances so that taxpayers encounter fewer difficulties in the first place. We have also continued our focus on providing tax certainty. In this connection, during FY 25-26, CBDT signed 220 APAs, one of the highest annual totals since the program began. With this, the cumulative number of APAs signed has reached 1,035 by March 26, one of the highest as acknowledged by peer jurisdictions. In the area of exemptions, 2.12 lakh registrations or re-registrations in the case of trusts have been granted during the year. Another important guidance was that technology should make compliance easier and not more complicated. Guided by that principle, the department has expanded taxpayer outreach through Prarambh and Samvad, strengthened digital assistance through our virtual assistant, Kar Sathi, which has seen 38 lakh hits as on date, and adopted Saksham Nudge approach to encourage voluntary compliance through data-driven and non-intrusive interventions. Our technological capabilities are also being strengthened through a number of important initiatives. The development of PAN 2.0, ITBA 2.0, CPC TDS 2.0, Insight 2.0, and IEC 3.0, and the continued modernization of our digital systems will make our processes more efficient, more integrated, and better aligned with the needs of the taxpayers. Respected ma'am, you had also emphasized that the new Income Tax Act 2025 should remain simple, clear, and easy to comply with. In furtherance of that objective, the rules have already been notified. Considerable progress has been made in finalizing and notifying the prescribed forms well before they are required, for which I would also like to acknowledge the dedicated efforts of the officers who served on the forms and rules committees, whose professionalism, hard work, and unwavering commitment enabled us to accomplish this task within time. Greater taxpayer outreach was also one of the key points. Towards this, the department has already conducted 304 physical outreach programs, predominantly in Tier 1 and Tier 2 cities, along with 11 Samvad sessions on the Income Tax Act 2025, and 12 Samvad sessions on the new income tax forms. We have also connected with taxpayers in new and innovative ways through short videos, podcasts, and engaging digital creatives. At the same time, with your continued support, major investments in technology and office infrastructure and residential facilities are enhancing our institutional capacity and creating a better environment for our officers and officials to serve the taxpayers effectively, and for which, ma'am, on behalf of the department, I express our gratitude. Ma'am, the progress we report today of the past year stands out, and one thought stands out. The priorities before the department were not independent tasks to be completed. They all pointed in the same direction, to build greater confidence and trust in the tax administration. I would like to assure you that we will continue to build on this progress and take every step necessary to further strengthen the confidence and trust of the taxpayers in the tax administration. No tax administration can achieve this on its own. It rests on the partnership, it rests on the taxpayers who chose to comply voluntarily, on tax professionals who guide them responsibly, on connecting entities like banks and reporting entities who support the compliance framework by sharing mature data, and on many institutions of the state and the central government that work closely with us. Above all, it rests on the quiet professionalism of our own officers and officials who carry the department's responsibilities every single day, often away from public eye. It is they that make the department what it is today. Before I conclude, I would like to place on record my sincere appreciation for the dedicated efforts of all the verticals in the board and the directorates for having steered the policies of the government on pan-India basis. Their quiet diligence, expertise, and unwavering commitment have contributed immensely to the progress we celebrate today. On an occasion such as this, it is also fitting to acknowledge our retired officers and officials. The department has been built over generations by their dedication, professionalism, and commitment to the public service. We are privileged to carry forward that legacy and build upon the strong foundations that they have laid. As we move forward with the implementation of the new Income Tax Act and the many responsibilities that lie ahead, we remain committed to the strengthening that confidence. With these words, I once again extend a very warm welcome to all the distinguished guests. Thank you. Jai Hind.
आपके प्रेरक शब्दों के लिए धन्यवाद सर। अब हम इस गरिमामयी समारोह के अत्यंत महत्वपूर्ण सत्र की ओर अग्रसर हो रहे हैं। इस सत्र के संचालन हेतु मैं सीबीडीटी मेंबर लेजिस्लेशन माननीय प्रसेनजीत सिंह जी को मंच सौंपती हूं।
Honorable Finance Minister, respected Revenue Secretary, respected Chairman CBDT, respected Member CBDT, esteemed guests, Senior Officer Department, and dear colleagues. Institutions are built not only through the work they perform, but also through the knowledge they preserve and share. Every reform, every system that is strengthened, and every new framework that is developed adds to the institutional memory of the department. Documenting that journey is therefore as important as the journey itself, for it enables knowledge to be shared, experience to be preserved, and future progress to be built on strong foundation. It is in this spirit that the Central Board of Direct Taxes present a set of 6 publications that reflects department's work in international taxation and its continuing journey of digital transformation. The first publication is the inaugural annual report of the Foreign Tax and Tax Research Division Avlokan, documents that the division's work across the international tax policy, treaty negotiations, exchange of information, dispute resolution, global engagement, reflecting India's growing role in shaping the international tax landscape. The revised manual on exchange of information is a practical reference for the departmental officers, bringing together guidance and best practices for the effective use of information exchange under the international tax treaties to address increasingly complex cross-border tax challenges. The third publication is the guidance note on the crypto asset reporting obligations, India's first comprehensive guidance for crypto asset service providers, supporting the effective implementation of the country's emerging crypto asset reporting regime. The revised guidance note on the FATCA and the CRS provides reporting financial institutions with updated guidance on meeting their due diligence and reporting obligations under the India's Automatic Exchange of Information framework. The fifth publication is the annual report of the Advanced Pricing Agreement Program, chronicles another milestone in one of the department's foremost tax certainty initiatives with a record 220 APA agreements, including 84 bilateral APAs signed during the last financial year, reaffirming India's commitment to providing certainty in cross-border taxation. Completing this collection is Re-engineering Tax Governance, which chronicles the journey of the Directorate of Systems. It records how the department moved from the paper-based processes to an integrated digital ecosystem. That ecosystem today connects taxpayers, institutions, and information, and has made tax administration more seamless, transparent, and taxpayer-centric. Brought out by the media cell CBDT, the volume shows that this change was driven by continued re-engineering in tax governance through technology. May I now request the Honorable Finance Minister to kindly unveil these publications. Thank you, ma'am. As we celebrate the 167th Income Tax Day, we are proud to unveil the MyGov Citizen Engagement Portal, featuring a special message from the Honorable Finance Minister. This portal will serve as a nationwide platform for citizens' participation through our digital pledge, innovation challenges, painting and short video competitions, stakeholders' feedback, and multimedia content, fostering a culture of voluntary tax compliance, strengthening citizens' participation, and reinforcing the shared commitment of taxpayers and the department towards nation building. Thank you, ma'am. Jai Hind.
आयकर के क्षेत्र में नवाचारों को प्रोत्साहित करने के लिए धन्यवाद मैम। इस महत्वपूर्ण सत्र में नवाचारों से अवगत कराने के लिए धन्यवाद सर। अब सभा को संबोधित करने के लिए मैं माननीय राजस्व सचिव श्री अरविंद श्रीवास्तव जी को आमंत्रित करती हूँ।
Honorable Finance Minister, Chairman and members of the Central Board of Direct Taxes, Chairman CBIC and members of CBIC, dignitaries, dear colleagues, friends from the media, and esteemed guests. It is my privilege to join you on this important occasion of the 167th Income Tax Day. This year, unlike any other in the recent memory, is very unusual and noteworthy, because the Income Tax Act 2025 came into force, replacing the Income Tax Act 1961, which served this nation for over 6 decades. This was not just a renumbering exercise, but a genuine simplification of the tax law. The number of sections were brought down significantly from almost more than 800 to just about 500 or so. The number of chapters were brought down significantly too, and this entire exercise was supplemented with a new approach like bringing in tables and formulas that replaced dense legal text and brought more clarity. Besides, various redundant provisions were done away with to make the new Income Tax Act much simpler to understand and also less bulky to refer to. Further, the rollout of income tax rules and forms was also a landmark event this year, as it introduced a new, modernized and simplified procedural framework by consolidating provisions and removing redundant rules. Apart from reducing the number of rules and forms significantly, focus was also on strengthening digital compliance through smart forms and standardized data fields. For the first time, the rules were finalized after an extensive public consultation that received very enthusiastic response from the stakeholders across the sectors. And many of those suggestions were very useful and were incorporated in the final rules, which has set a very significant benchmark for the participative rulemaking exercise in tax legislation. A law is as good as the ability of the taxpayer to understand and follow it. That is why, ahead of this transition, the department carried out Prarambh, a nationwide outreach and facilitation exercise that reached every nook and corner of the country through almost 300 outreach programs and providing support documents in various Indian languages. How taxpayer-centric administration was rolled out has been another step towards building a relationship of trust with the taxpayers. The result of this multifarious tax-building measures has been visible in our numbers. The gross and the net direct tax collections both clocked a growth of almost 4 to 5%. The Income Tax Department's commitment to grievance redressal has also delivered very good results. The average time to resolve a grievance has come down from 57 to 28 days. Both in CP Grams and E-Nivaran combined, the disposal rate is almost close to 100%, around 95% or so. Reducing tax litigation has also been a focus area of government's reform agenda. Department disposed 30% more appeals than what it did the last year. This has also supplemented the litigation management approach through clearer legislative drafting, simplification of procedural rules, greater use of technology, standardization of procedures to minimize ambiguity and disputes, and at the same time also taking steps to reduce litigation at the first appeal level. There is still a lot more of scope to improve. As we move towards greater automation, reduced human interface, and faster taxpayer services, our focus needs to equally be on the quality of work than only on numbers. Honest taxpayers should experience the department as a facilitator of tax payment than only a regulatory and enforcement agency. In this regard, we need to orient our policies towards tax certainty, consistency in application of law, and overall ease of compliance for the taxpayers. In all our endeavors to reimagine the department, we need to be discerning and we need to be willing to scrutinize all our existing systems with an open mind. Effective use of technology needs to be central to this transformation. The tools of technology are capable of making tax administration smarter, sharper, and more analytical without being very intrusive. The various systems followed by the department like AIS, e-verification, continue to give taxpayer opportunities to correct discrepancies voluntarily. Moving forward, we also need to deepen and widen the faceless systems. Becoming a part of the tax system enables people and businesses to also become part of the formal economy with its all attached benefits. In all these endeavors, our team, officers, staff, and support agencies need to have the capacity to be future ready. It is in their professionalism, discipline, integrity, and spirit of service we can get the meaning to everything that we are designing. I once again congratulate all of you on this Income Tax Day, and I have no doubt that the department will continue to serve the nation with commitment and the purpose of nation building as it marches towards the vision of a Viksit Bharat by 2047. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable insights. While we are celebrating 167 glorious years of income tax, our department is witnessing the dawn of a promising new era. New IT Act, taxpayer-centric, simplified, yet profound in nature with greater initiatives. We take pride in inviting our Honorable Finance Minister to enlighten us with her special address. மாண்புமிகு மத்திய நிதியமைச்சர் திருமதி நிர்மலா சீதாராமன் அவர்களை சிறப்புரையாற்ற வருமாறு பணிவன்புடன் கேட்டுக்கொள்கிறோம்.
Good evening. Sorry before I start in a very formal way. For a minute I stopped saying I had to stop and ask the CBDT chairman as to, there was an instruction in Tamil, it was nice to hear it, but I had a doubt if I had refused to speak if I was told only in English. This is the first time CBDT has made this effort, so I wanted to understand what was the motive behind it. Did I tell somebody saying, no, I won't talk? None of that, right? Thank you. Revenue Secretary, Chairman CBDT, members of the board, all senior officers, chairman earlier, former chairman, both of the CBDT, CBIC, and the current chairman of the CBIC. It's always a motivating evening for me when I come and address you all. Although I, of course, speak and lay out my expectations. It's a day when, seriously, I look at what the board was like earlier, what kind of work you've done during COVID and what we are doing now. It's actually a very intense, forward-moving journey, and not easy for a 167-year-old board to be so nimble and also looking at rapidly adopting newer ways of doing things. So on this 167th Income Tax Day, I start with a word of appreciation for the board. You traversed all these years, decades, but you've never been stuck at one point. You've kept moving. And that is where the relevance of the CBDT, even in a technology-driven era, comes from. And therefore, that flexibility is what I appreciate. And I've seen the intense work that the CBDT has undertaken in preparing for the Income Tax Act of 2025, the way it was drafted, the intensity with which consultations happened. And therefore, on this 167th Income Tax Day, I start with a very big appreciation in the way in which the implementation of the new Income Tax Act 2025 has happened. Great appreciation to your work. I've said this before, over more than a century and a half, the Income Tax Department has evolved alongside India's economic transformation, continuously adapting itself to meet the changing needs of the nation. You've kept yourself adapting. I repeat, you've never been stuck in one place. Strong public finances remain indispensable to our development journey, and the department has a vital responsibility in mobilizing the resources that make this progress very, very possible. The responsibility of the Income Tax Department has widened from a narrow focus on tax collection to a broader commitment to fairness, efficiency, ease of doing business, and service. The focus has shifted to improving taxpayer services. The implementation of the Income Tax Act 2025 has simplified the law by reorganizing it, reducing uncertainty, and lowering compliance costs. So alongside this, the e-filing portal has significantly strengthened this filing season with expanding computing capacity, storage, bandwidth, and also network infrastructure. These efforts enabled the portal to handle more than 1 crore taxpayer interactions in a single day, with daily interaction reaching around 1.6 crore at peak. So during the current filing season, as of July 2021, more than 3.2 crore income tax returns have been filed, nearly 94% verified, and 60% processed. On this, over 1.3 crore refund claims have been received, 96% verified, and 40% processed. So the department must continue reducing the processing timelines. Prompt refunds strengthen confidence in the fairness of tax administration and improve liquidity for the taxpayers. I think this is one line I'm repeating every year. Whilst the performance is improving, but there's room for better performance. There's room to improve our performance. I'm happy to learn that through CP grams, in the last financial year 25-26, the department disposed of 94% of nearly 78,000 grievances received. I think the Revenue Secretary also referred to this when he spoke. Average disposal time fell from 57 to 28 days, and grievances resolved within 21 days rose to 67%. As I said, there is improvement, but I think there's immense possibility to better it. Through the e-Nivaran platform, 95% of the 3.5 lakh grievances were disposed, with average disposal time declining to 42 days. These are very strong gains, no doubt, and I would encourage the department to focus on grievance intelligence as well, analyzing patterns systematically and prioritizing detection of recurring issues across regions. Remember that grievances analyzed strengthen the system, and grievances prevented strengthen governance. So we should give importance to both. However, we should not rest on our achievements, and however high they may be. So I would like the department, for this year's checklist for this chairman CBDT, I would like the department to focus on 5 priorities. Again, this year, I give you a list of priorities, which could be said as the 5 R's. You would have thought of R's were in the banking domain, 5 R's, and therefore they came to good health afterwards. From a state of sitting with huge NPAs, they've become very healthy today, and they're making huge profits, and they're able to also service customers, give back dividends to the government. But here I'm talking to the CBDT about 5 R's of responsive tax governance. Recognize is the first R, respond is the second R, redress is the third, reflect is the fourth, and reform is the fifth. So recognize every taxpayer's concern promptly, acknowledging that all grievances deserve timely attention. Respond with clarity, courtesy, empathy, ensuring taxpayers receive meaningful communication at each stage. Redress genuine grievances, and redress genuine grievances fairly and within defined timelines, delivering timely and recent solutions. Reflect on the root causes of recurring grievances, using complaints as an opportunity for institutional learning. Reform the processes, systems, and procedures continuously so that similar grievances become increasingly rare. So our approach should ensure convenience for the honest taxpayer, an opportunity to correct bona fide errors, and firm consequences for deliberate evasion. But sometimes we make the error of treating honest taxpayer with a deliberate evader, and everybody goes home unhappy with us. We have to be intelligent, we have to be discreet, and we should know to draw a line between those who are deliberately evading tax from bona fide errors. The authority conferred by tax law must always be exercised with humility. I don't mind, like at home, praying to God. At least in South, we are taught Sahasranama. You know, you worship a particular deity with 1,000 good names. You want to say, oh, you're this, oh, you're that, you're this, and seek benevolence. I don't mind standing before the CBDT and my friend CBIC also, and say a Sahasranama of serve with humility. Exercise the power that the tax law gives you with humility a Sahasra times. I don't mind saying it 1,000 times. You do splendid work. You do brilliant work with technology. You're creative, you're trying to do a lot more. You want the revenue collected well so that the government's services, extending of welfare measures can all run smoothly. Great. But somewhere, the taxpayer is left with a bitter taste in his mouth when we slightly exert that empowerment which the tax law has given us. We have to reflect that power which the law gives us with a sense of humility. You are there with the power, but not to arrogate yourself with it. And that bitter taste in the mouth of the taxpayer is something which only we can redress. And only we can redress if we approach the problem with a sense of humility. You may be doing your job right, but that element of aggrandizing yourself is the one which leaves a bitter taste. We don't want that. The authority, therefore, I repeat that line, the authority confirmed, the authority conferred by tax law must always be exercised with humility. A taxpayer is not merely an assessee. A taxpayer is a citizen and a partner in India's growth and development. We have to give him that space and that respect. Please do not overdo. At the same time, do not be laid back. There is a fine balance to maintain. Tax certainty is one of the strongest foundations of voluntary compliance. Our long-term objective must shift from litigation management to litigation prevention. Therefore, again, it should rest on 3 pillars: clarity in taxpayer obligations through timely circulars. Do it in simple language, do it in plain English if you do it in English, if you do it in Hindi, simple language. Consistency of interpretation across jurisdictions. And the third C, continuous institutional learning from appellate orders to inform future reform. So the 5 R's, the 3 C's. Together, these principles reduce avoidable disputes while improving certainty for honest taxpayers. On this dimension, I appreciate that there has been progress, which I said earlier. A total pendency declined by over 34,000 cases to now 5.4 lakh appeals. No good. We should pause here. Are we doing this consciously? How could the appeals, despite your attempt to bring down the numbers, 34,000 is a brilliant big number. On hearing that, on reading that, I would have thought the pending appeals would have come down to less than 1 lakh. We still have 5.4 lakh appeals. 3 years ago, or 4 years ago, the chairman can correct me, we had an exercise within our boards about how to reduce pending appeals. We had a blueprint on. And I'm sure the blueprint is what is making a lot more speedier disposal and clearance of all the pending appeals. But we are allowing the mounting appeals to keep coming up, the newer ones coming up, even as the reduction is happening in a slower pace. This is running up and this is walking down. I appeal to the board, CBDT, that you should have one more review to see how you're going to handle this. It cannot be that the cases keep mounting and you're clearing at some pace, which is going to, like as they say in some numbers, it'll take a century to clear it. If you're allowing the growth to go on like this of appeals or of complaints, and your reduction is not matching up with this. So please do a review and make sure that these numbers don't frighten us anymore. Following revised monetary thresholds pursuant to the Budget 24-25 announcement, 6,000 departmental appeals have been withdrawn, freeing us resources for cases with substantial questions of law. Of course, where there are substantial questions of law, you don't want to frivolously handle it. You need to be careful about it. Therefore, the implementation of Income Tax Act 2025 must be accompanied by consistent guidance and continuous engagement with taxpayers, professionals, and industry. This is important because India's economy is evolving rapidly, and it will continue to generate new questions, and the department must remain agile enough to keep the pace. You have to be agile enough to keep the pace. Ultimately, tax certainty is an economic imperative that improves the ease of doing business and strengthens India's competitiveness as a global investment destination. Last year, I had emphasized that a modern tax administration requires not only modern laws and technology, but also modern workplaces, well-equipped offices, and a motivated workforce. I'm pleased to see that the department has made steady progress in advancing these priorities during the past year. New office complexes and modernization projects have progressed well at Mumbai, Delhi, Bengaluru, Chennai, and Noida, and maybe a few other stations as well. And there has been continued investment in residential and welfare facilities for our officers and staff. 2 days from now, I will be inaugurating the new Ayakar Sindhu office, which is an office complex in Mumbai, which is another important milestone in creating world-class infrastructure. Physical infrastructure, however, is only one dimension of the institutional capacity. As we continue to invest in world-class infrastructure, we must invest with equal commitment in building the knowledge, skills, and leadership capabilities of our officers. I would encourage strengthened specialized training in AI, data analytics, forensic accounting, international taxation, transfer pricing, digital assets, cybersecurity, and advanced financial investigations. So our officers must also be regularly trained in structured leadership development. So as we celebrate 167 years, this is an occasion both to reflect and to look ahead. Over the coming 2 decades, our collective aspiration is to realize Vikasit Bharat by 2047. The Income Tax Department will play a vital role in improving ease of doing business, promoting compliance, and strengthening trust between taxpayers and the state. I would encourage the department to follow the broad principles which I'd like to lay before you for your consideration. Deepen voluntary compliance. It's not going to be beyond you. You are the catalyst. Make sure there is voluntary compliance. Continue simplifying the taxpayer experience. There is no end to simplifying it. More and more towards greater simplification, it's going to be even better attractive. Further strengthen tax certainty at the implementation level. Harness technology responsibly. Build institutional excellence. Strengthen public trust. And last, embrace continuous improvement. So these priorities should reinforce one another. Simpler laws encourage better compliance, better services strengthen trust, and greater trust promotes voluntary compliance. So throughout your 167-year history, you have moved from paper files and paper filing to intelligent digital platforms, and from an enforcement-oriented administration to one that places equal emphasis on services, transparency, technology, and trust. And the enactment of the Income Tax Act 2025 marks a significant milestone in your illustrious journey. So on this 167th Income Tax Day, I convey my sincere appreciation to all the officers and our staff of the Income Tax Department for your dedicated service to our nation. Jai Hind.
आपके प्रेरणादायी शब्दों एवं सबका साथ सबका विकास के सपने को साकार करने के प्रति आपकी प्रतिबद्धता के लिए धन्यवाद मैम। और अब मैं आमंत्रित करती हूं सीबीडीटी मेंबर टीपीएस एंड रेवेन्यू श्रीमती अपर्णा राव जी को कि वे आएं और धन्यवाद ज्ञापन प्रस्तुत करें।
Every great nation is built on two pillars, vision and contribution. For 167 years, income tax has been one such pillar for our country's progress. Here is a short film on the history of taxation. With immense pride, we inform that this is made by the Directorate of PR, PNP of CBDT.
नमस्कार, मेरा नाम है मधुकर। आइए समय की यात्रा करें और समझें कि भारत में कर व्यवस्था की शुरुआत कैसे हुई।
भारत में कर व्यवस्था 2000 वर्षों से भी अधिक समय से चली आ रही है। मौर्यकालीन कर व्यवस्था इतिहास की शुरुआती विकासशील राजकोषीय नीतियों में से एक मानी जाती है। ऐसी कर पद्धति कौटिल्य के उल्लेखानुसार अर्थशास्त्र में भी विद्यमान है। किसानों से लिए जाने वाले कर को भाग कहा जाता था। ये कृषि उत्पादन का लगभग 1/6 हिस्सा होता था। कर व्यवस्था का सबसे प्राचीन ऐतिहासिक प्रमाण अशोक के लुम्बिनी स्तंभ के शिलालेखों में देखने को मिलता है। आयकर विभाग के प्रतीक चिन्ह पर अंकित वाक्य है, कोशमूलो दंडः। इसका अर्थ है राजस्व ही शासन की रीढ़ है। मध्यकालीन भारत अनेक छोटे बड़े राज्यों में बटा हुआ था। प्रत्येक राज्य की अपनी विशिष्ट कर प्रणाली थी। समय के साथ ये व्यवस्थाएं अधिक संगठित हुईं। राजस्व का बड़ा भाग सेना, सुरक्षा, जन कल्याण, व्यापारिक अवसंरचना और धार्मिक संस्थानों पर व्यय होता था। 1860 में भारत में आयकर की आधुनिक अवधारणा प्रारंभ हुई। इसके बाद 1886 में एक संगठित आयकर अधिनियम लागू किया गया। फिर 1918 में इसमें सुधार हुए और 1922 में एक व्यापक आयकर अधिनियम लागू हुआ। 1924 में केंद्रीय राजस्व बोर्ड की स्थापना हुई, जो प्रत्यक्ष और अप्रत्यक्ष दोनों करों का प्रशासन करता था। भारत से प्राप्त राजस्व को ब्रिटेन भेजा गया, जिसे इतिहास में ड्रेन ऑफ वेल्थ के नाम से जाना गया। स्वतंत्रता के बाद आयकर की भूमिका बदल गई। अब वो देश के विकास, जन कल्याण एवं राष्ट्र निर्माण का महत्वपूर्ण साधन बनकर उभरा। 1961 में लागू आयकर अधिनियम ने पुराने कानूनों को समेकित कर प्रत्यक्ष कर व्यवस्था के लिए एक समान और सशक्त ढांचा तैयार किया। 1 जनवरी 1964 को केंद्रीय राजस्व बोर्ड को केंद्रीय प्रत्यक्ष कर बोर्ड (CBDT) और केंद्रीय उत्पाद एवं सीमा शुल्क बोर्ड (CBEC) में विभाजित किया गया। ये विभाजन केंद्रीय राजस्व बोर्ड अधिनियम 1963 के तहत हुआ। पैन कार्ड, ऑनलाइन फाइलिंग, फेसलेस असेसमेंट और अपील जैसे सुधार प्रारंभ किए गए।
And the Income Tax Act 2025 will come into effect from 1st April 2026.
नया आयकर अधिनियम 2025 कर प्रक्रिया को अधिक सरल, पारदर्शी और प्रभावी बनाता है। करदाताओं की सहायता हेतु कर साथी AI चैटबॉट की शुरुआत की गई है। इन्हीं व्यापक सुधारों तथा उनसे करदाताओं के बढ़ते विश्वास के परिणाम स्वरूप वर्ष 1947 से 48 की तुलना में 2025 से 26 तक प्रत्यक्ष कर संग्रह तथा करदाताओं की संख्या में अभूतपूर्व वृद्धि दर्ज की गई है। अब भारत एक सशक्त आयकर व्यवस्था के आधार पर विकसित भारत 2047 के लक्ष्य की ओर अग्रसर है।
तो दोस्तों, हमने देखा कि भारत की कर व्यवस्था का क्या इतिहास रहा है। याद रखिए, कर देना केवल कर्तव्य नहीं बल्कि विकसित भारत में हम सबकी भागीदारी है। तो चलो हम अपना सही आयकर देते हैं।
कराधान के सफर की बेहद सुंदर झलक हमने देखी। सशक्त और समृद्ध भारत के निर्माण के लिए हमारे कार्यबल का कुशल होना अनिवार्य है। इसी दिशा में एक क्रांतिकारी कदम है कर्मयोगी शिक्षा पथ पोर्टल। आइए जानते हैं कि कैसे यह मंच क्षमता निर्माण के क्षेत्र में एक अभूतपूर्व बदलाव ला रहा है। मैं बताना चाहूँगी कि यह फिल्म प्रशिक्षण निदेशालय द्वारा बनाई गई है।
The journey of capacity building is not merely about acquiring knowledge. It is about transforming institutions, empowering people, and strengthening governance. Mission Karma Yogi envisions a future-ready, citizen-centric, and technology-enabled civil service, empowering Karma Yogis to drive India's journey towards Viksit Bharat 2047 through continuous learning and excellence in public service. To power this mission, the Central Board of Direct Taxes established the Directorate of Training on 1st January 2024. Today, 100% of the department's workforce is onboarded on the iGot Karma Yogi platform. As training expanded across institutes and regions, learning records remained fragmented, limiting visibility and making tracking cumbersome. To address this, CBDT launched Karma Yogi Shiksha Path portal on 1st January 2026, a single-window digital platform integrating data from both iGot courses and departmental training programs. Every stakeholder logs in through one secure gateway. Built on the Prudent framework, KSP Portal provides a unified view of the entire training ecosystem. Participants, trainers, courses, certificates issued, and upcoming and ongoing courses. The course catalog spans domain, behavioral, and functional competencies. It also gives comprehensive information like course duration, conducting authority, and target participants. Trainee Ledger would help in ascertaining the professional competence, which would enable placement of the officers based on their competency. Similarly, the Trainer Ledger would help in ascertaining and leveraging the competency of trainers for training the entire department. KSP Portal is also going to serve as a universal repository for resource material accessible by both trainees and trainers. MIS reports of the portal generate progress of the training across institutes, regions, competencies, and hierarchy. Real-time dashboards and one-click MIS reports now enable faster, evidence-based decision-making. The impact has been significant. For instance, more than 90% of the department's workforce has been trained on the key features of Income Tax Act 2025. From a scattered, manual process to a transparent, technology-enabled, data-driven ecosystem. KSP is strengthening governance and driving continuous capacity building across the department. Looking ahead, KSP Portal will standardize learning resources aligned with competency frameworks, moving in tandem with career progression. Introduction of a dedicated mobile app is also in pipeline. As India moves towards Viksit Bharat 2047, empowered Karma Yogis are translating vision into action.
पिछला वित्तीय वर्ष हमारे लिए उल्लेखनीय उपलब्धियों एवं प्रशंसनीय प्रगति का समय रहा है। आयकर विभाग के इस विकास एवं उन्नति को करीब से देखने के लिए आइए नजर डालते हैं वित्तीय वर्ष 2025-26 में आयकर विभाग की मुख्य उपलब्धियों पर। मैं बताना चाहूँगी, यह फिल्म CBDT के PR P&P निदेशालय द्वारा बनाई गई है।
साथियों, एक तो हमारा लक्ष्य है 2047, हिंदुस्तान विकसित होना ही चाहिए।
राष्ट्र निर्माण केवल नीतियों से नहीं होता, वो बनता है नागरिकों की भागीदारी से। उस प्रगति में देश के करोड़ों करदाताओं का योगदान भी जुड़ा होता है।
और 167 वर्षों से आयकर विभाग इस विश्वास, उत्तरदायित्व और राष्ट्र निर्माण की यात्रा का एक महत्वपूर्ण सहभागी रहा है।
वित्तीय वर्ष 2025 से 26 आयकर विभाग के लिए केवल उपलब्धियों का वर्ष नहीं था।
ये परिवर्तन, सरलीकरण, प्रौद्योगिकी, सेवा और करदाता केंद्रित प्रशासन की दिशा में एक निर्णायक अध्याय रहा।
इस वर्ष माननीय वित्त मंत्री श्रीमती निर्मला सीतारमण के मार्गदर्शन और केंद्रीय प्रत्यक्ष कर बोर्ड के नेतृत्व में विभाग ने एक ऐसे आधुनिक कर प्रशासन की दिशा में कदम बढ़ाए जो अधिक सक्षम और भविष्य की आवश्यकताओं के अनुरूप हो।
इसी परिवर्तनकारी यात्रा की सबसे महत्वपूर्ण उपलब्धियों में से एक रहा इनकम टैक्स एक्ट 2025।
संसद से पारित होकर और 21 अगस्त 2025 को राष्ट्रपति की मुहर लगने के साथ ही यह आधिकारिक कानून बना और 1 अप्रैल 2026 से नया आयकर अधिनियम 2025 पूरे देश में लागू हो गया।
किसी भी बड़े सुधार की सफलता तब होती है जब करदाता उसे समझ सके, अपनाए और विश्वास के साथ उसका पालन कर सके।
इस ऐतिहासिक बदलाव में हर भारतीय का हाथ थामने के लिए आयकर विभाग ने आरंभ किया एक राष्ट्रव्यापी जागरूकता अभियान प्रारंभ
2026 पॉलिसी रिफॉर्म एंड रिस्पॉन्सिबल एक्शन फॉर मिशन विकसित भारत।
प्रारंभ के अंतर्गत संवाद प्रोग्राम्स और नेशन वाइड आउटरीच के माध्यम से नए एक्ट, रूल्स, फॉर्म्स और कंप्लायंस से जुड़े विषयों को सरल भाषा में समझाया गया। 12 भारतीय भाषाओं में 144 से अधिक ब्रोशर्स तैयार किए गए। कर सेतु के माध्यम से 2200 से अधिक FAQs उपलब्ध कराए गए। 186 फॉर्म्स के लिए गाइडेंस नोट्स तैयार किए गए और AI एनेबल्ड ट्यूटोरियल्स के माध्यम से समझाने का प्रयास किया गया।
एक सुव्यवस्थित आउटरीच प्लान के माध्यम से प्रारंभ ने भारत के कोने कोने में 300 से भी ज्यादा फिजिकल आउटरीच प्रोग्राम्स सफल रूप से पूर्ण किए।
प्रारंभ के इस जमीनी रेवोल्यूशन ने आज पूरे भारत में IT एक्ट 2025 सरल, सुलभ और भरोसेमंद बना दिया है।
कर प्रशासन की यही आधुनिक सोच नज इनिशिएटिव में भी दिखाई देती है। नॉन इंट्रूसिव यूसेज ऑफ डेटा टू गाइड एंड इनेबल।
इसके फलस्वरूप पिछले 2 वर्षों में 1.25 करोड़ से अधिक रिवाइज्ड और अपडेटेड रिटर्न्स से लगभग 12,122 करोड़ रुपए का रेवेन्यू इफेक्ट हुआ और 1,29,090 करोड़ के फॉरेन एसेट्स रिपोर्ट किए गए हैं।
करदाताओं के बढ़ते विश्वास तथा आयकर अधिकारियों की उत्कृष्ट कार्यशैली का सकारात्मक प्रभाव प्रत्यक्ष कर संग्रह में भी दिखाई दिया। वित्तीय वर्ष 2025 से 26 में ग्रॉस डायरेक्ट टैक्स कलेक्शन 28.11 लाख करोड़ रुपए से अधिक रहा।
AI इनेबल्ड डिजिटल असिस्टेंट से सरल और समयबद्ध गाइडेंस उपलब्ध करवाने के लिए विकसित किया गया। कर साथी स्मार्ट असिस्टेंट फॉर ऑटोमेटेड टाइमली हेल्प एंड इंफॉर्मेशन।
इनकम टैक्स वेबसाइट 2.0 ने आधुनिक, सहज और करदाता केंद्रित डिजिटल अनुभव के माध्यम से सेवाओं को अधिक सुलभ बनाया।
करदाता शिकायत निवारण के क्षेत्र में भी आयकर विभाग ने एक नया कीर्तिमान स्थापित किया है। ग्रीवेंस रिड्रेसल असेसमेंट एंड इंडेक्स यानी GRAI में ऐतिहासिक सुधार दर्ज करते हुए CBDT ने ग्रीवेंस रिड्रेसल में 14वां स्थान हासिल किया। शिकायत समाधान का औसत समय 57 दिन से घटकर केवल 28 दिन रह गया। CP ग्राम्स के लगभग 94% एवं ई निवारण के लगभग 95% मामलों का त्वरित निस्तारण किया गया है।
वित्तीय वर्ष 2025 से 26 में आयकर विभाग ने OGE, रेक्टिफिकेशन तथा अपील प्रकरणों के निस्तारण में भी प्रभावी कार्य किया। लंबित मामलों को गति देते हुए कुल 2,22,113 अपीलों का निस्तारण किया गया। ये उपलब्धि इसी अवधि में प्राप्त 1,82,947 नई अपीलों की संख्या से उल्लेखनीय रूप से अधिक रही।
विगत वर्षों में आयकर विभाग ने अपने आधारभूत ढांचे के विकास में उल्लेखनीय प्रगति की है। विभाग में कार्यालय परिसर की 46% तथा आवासीय परिसरों की 73% कमी थी।
माननीय वित्त मंत्री और राजस्व सचिव के नेतृत्व में BSNL और MTNL की भूमि आयकर विभाग को हस्तांतरित की गई तथा आधारभूत संरचना के विकास के लिए रिकॉर्ड बजट आवंटित किया गया।
ईज ऑफ डूइंग बिजनेस और टैक्स सर्टेनिटी की दिशा में भी वर्ष 2025 से 26 ऐतिहासिक रहा। इस वर्ष विभाग ने 219 एडवांस प्राइसिंग एग्रीमेंट्स APAs संपादित कर एक ही वर्ष में सर्वाधिक APAs का नया कीर्तिमान स्थापित किया तथा 1000 APAs संपादित करने का गौरव भी प्राप्त किया।
डिजिटल अर्थव्यवस्था के इस युग में टैक्स एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन को अधिक टेक्नोलॉजी ड्रिवन बनाने की दिशा में महत्वपूर्ण कदम उठाए हैं।
देश भर में 22 लैब्स के विस्तार के साथ डिजिटल इंटेलिजेंस एंड एनालिटिक्स लैब डायल भी आयकर विभाग को नई क्षमता प्रदान कर रहा है।
विभाग के अधिकारियों एवं कर्मचारियों ने खेलकूद और सांस्कृतिक गतिविधियों में राष्ट्रीय एवं अंतर्राष्ट्रीय स्तर पर उल्लेखनीय उपलब्धियां प्राप्त कर देश तथा विभाग का मान बढ़ाया।
ये उपलब्धियां उस संस्कृति का प्रतीक हैं जिसके केंद्र में सदैव करदाता है।
167 वर्षों की इस यात्रा में कानून, तकनीक और प्रक्रियाएं बदली हैं, पर राष्ट्र के प्रति प्रतिबद्धता अटल रही।
नए कानून, नई तकनीक और नागरिक केंद्रित सोच के साथ आयकर विभाग विश्वास, सेवा और राष्ट्र निर्माण की इस यात्रा को नई ऊंचाइयों तक ले जा रहा है।
तो चलो हम अपना सही आयकर देते हैं।
Now, we would like to invite your kind attention to a short film titled Reimagining Taxpayer Communication in a Digital Age, made by the media cell of the CBDT.
What happens when creativity meets technology? Taxpayer awareness gets a new voice.
Raj, why is the government replacing the old Income Tax Act? Isn't it working just fine?
It was functional, Jaya, but not simple.
Handwritten certificate nahi chalega.
Think of it like this. If everyone gets on the highway at the same time, no matter how smooth or efficient the road is, it's bound to choke. The tax portal works the same way. Better not to wait till the last moment.
The department receives such information from foreign jurisdictions. And this message is part of the Nudge campaign.
बजट 2026 इंडियन कॉर्पोरेट्स के लिए ईज ऑफ डूइंग बिजनेस, ITES को टैक्स सर्टेनिटी, सेफ हार्बर अब 2000 करोड़ रुपए, पहले 300 करोड़ और कंपेटिटिव मार्जिन 15.5%।
Yeah, we know. Really long. But good news, we gave it a glow up.
Archaic legal phrases have been replaced with plain operational language, leading to a substantial reduction in the average word count per form.
That sounds like a real cultural shift.
Pankaj sir, I've received an email from the Income Tax Department. My heart rate is higher than my internet speed right now.
That's quite an emergency, Gopal. Don't panic. Show me the email before you click, download or reply to anything.
It's the Income Tax Department's AI-powered chatbot designed to give taxpayers quick, reliable answers anytime they need them.
यार ये सोशल मीडिया पर बोल रहे हैं इनकम टैक्स ई-फाइलिंग पोर्टल पे लॉगिन करना बड़ा मुश्किल है, कैप्चा एंड ऑल।
ब्रो चिल, किस जमाने में जी रहा है? इनकम टैक्स ई-फाइलिंग पोर्टल पे लॉगिन इज सुपर स्मूथ, नो कैप्चा, नो क्वेश्चंस और नो वरीज।
ITR भरना है, मुझे कुछ नहीं पता, मैं तो गई।
31 జూలై గుర్తుంచుకోండి,
మరందరాదింగ
జూలై 31 ఈగలే ఫైల్ ಮಾಡಿ.
Harnessing the power of short-form storytelling, leveraging AI for creating taxpayer awareness and building trust.
अब मैं आमंत्रित करती हूँ CBDT मेंबर TPS इन रेवेन्यू श्रीमती अपर्णा राव जी को कि वे आएं और धन्यवाद ज्ञापन प्रस्तुत करें।
Honorable Finance Minister, Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman, Madam, respected Revenue Secretary, Sir, respected Chairman CBDT, my colleagues on the dais, respected senior officers and dignitaries, stakeholders, all the officers and staff who have graced this occasion, and my dear friends, sabhi ko mera sadar pranam. I stand before you with a profound sense of gratitude as we celebrate yet another milestone in the history of the Income Tax Department. First and foremost, our highest and deepest gratitude to our Honorable Finance Minister, Madam, for her empowering leadership and the unwavering support and the unstinting support and the confidence and faith which Madam has reposed in the Income Tax Department, which ensures that we perform our best to the fullest satisfaction of Honorable FM Madam. Ma'am, we thank you for your gracious presence. Despite your busy, hectic schedule, we are indeed privileged to have you with us here today, ma'am. There is a subhashitam in Sanskrit which goes like this: Yadha chittam tadha vacho, yadha vacho tadha kriya, which means in thought, speech, and action, the noble are completely uniform. If we see, we have witnessed Madam's thoughts, words, and actions over the past several years, be it a policy reform or welfare measures. There is complete unison and harmony between thought, words, and action of Honorable Ma'am. I recollect the same day last year, 24th July 2025, Ma'am had asked the CBDT to prioritize and acquire properties so that we provide better working places and residential accommodation for the welfare of the employees. Completely aligned with this thought, our Honorable FM Madam was benevolent enough to not only approve the acquiring of various properties across the country, but Ma'am also ensured that we are sanctioned with the sufficient funds. This would go a long way in mitigating the shortage of office spaces and the residential accommodation, ma'am. We are highly indebted to you and eternally grateful to you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Our sincere and heartfelt thanks goes to the Revenue Secretary, sir, whose exemplary vision and steady, steadfast administrative stewardship has ensured the alignment of the tax governance with the broader policy framework. Sir, the achievements during the last financial year, which have been highlighted in the film just a short while ago, are themselves a reflection of your constant monitoring, guidance, and support to all of us, sir. And this would echo the fact that we are all aligned towards delivering better taxpayer services, that we are listening, we are adapting, and delivering. Thank you so much, sir, for all the guidance. Our profound thanks goes to Chairman CBDT, whose dynamic leadership and tireless dedication has helped us wade through a historic transition to the Income Tax Act with ease. Sir, your vision has ensured that we deliver better taxpayer services with transparency and trust. Thank you so much, sir. We are indeed honored with the presence of various dignitaries and officers from heading the various organizations and departments whose valued presence here has added much grace and value to this occasion. Thank you so much, sirs and ma'am. I also thank all the officers and staff who have come here for all their support and encouragement. This is the third year that we are partnering with MyGov India for citizen-centric administration, and I thank all the officials of MyGov India for all the support and continued partnership. Our sincere thanks to the professional fraternities, the ICAI, the Tax Chamber of the Chamber of Commerce, the Tax Bar Associations, and all the stakeholders for the expert insights and their invaluable feedback, which has shaped the present tax policy framework. A special word of thanks to the members of the press and media who act as a bridge between the department and the citizens. Your coverage, your objective coverage of the programs like Praram and other programs has ensured that our message reaches to every nook and corner of the country. Thank you so much. A sincere word of appreciation to the FT&TR division and the Systems Directorate for bringing out the publications which have been unveiled today. We are sincerely grateful to the Principal CCIT Delhi and his entire team, whose dedicated efforts have ensured the smooth conduct of this event. What we have witnessed today is the result of many days of dedication and perspiration by my entire team of Principal DG, Admin, and TPS. They have been working very hard for the past several days in bringing out the creative content and meticulously planning and absorbing all the pressure with their cheerful faces. And I sincerely thank all those who worked behind the scenes. Thank you all so much. Without your efforts, this flawless conduct of this event would not have been possible. I proudly acknowledge the services and the valuable contribution of the colleagues across the country whose dedication has shaped today's tax policy framework and tax administration, contributing to nation's progress. Thank you all so much. A special word of appreciation for the team who sang the soulful Saraswati Vandana and the management of Vigyan Bhawan for the logistic support. Lastly, and most importantly, special word of thanks and our deepest gratitude to all the taxpayers of the country who are the true pillars of the governance. Every return filed, every rupee which is paid as taxes contributes towards a self-reliant Viksit Bharat. Ma'am, as advised by you during the Praram event during March 2026, ma'am had advised that we should treat the SSC and the taxpayer with trust. And even today, also, ma'am has advised that we have to serve the taxpayers with humility. Ma'am, we assure you that we would serve with all humility, trust, and respect, ma'am. And as advised by you during the Praram event, I'm sure that the day will come soon where we would be sharing Ugadi Pachadi or Kheer with the taxpayers. In this In this motto, we are guided by the wisdom laid down in our ancient texts, which goes like this. Samvardhamano hi rashtrena raja rashtram vivardhayet, which means the ruler deriving strength from the nation or citizens must in turn dedicate every resource for the welfare of the citizens. Accordingly, the Income Tax Department is steadfast in its commitment to deliver with trust and humility and serve the taxpayers with respect and dignity. Thank you all so much. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
धन्यवाद मैम। अब मैं पूरी सभा से सविनय अनुरोध करती हूँ कि कृपया राष्ट्रगीत और उसके पश्चात राष्ट्रगान के सम्मान में अपने अपने स्थान पर खड़े हो जाएं।
वंदे मातरम full
Thank you all once again. Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to invite you to kindly join us for the dinner. For the convenience, dinner arrangements have been